What's up, my YouTube family? Welcome back to the Gaming Brigade, and as most of you know by now, we have a new mini-event going on. It is called Blinged-OUT Badasses. Therefore, today I wanted to show you a few of the best places to farm for badass enemies in the game. Now, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, you could hit that like button as well. And remember, we are currently having a giveaway for an Xbox Series X. To enter, all you need to do is subscribe here or follow on Twitter, and the winner will be announced on July 4th of this year. So you can see here that the game put out a tweet a few days ago, and it says the following. More cosmetics are dropping from badass enemies, and they sell for 50% more, plus it costs less to make a room in Chaos Chamber Elite. The Blinged Out Badass mini event starts now and runs from June 2nd to June 15th. Now, the spots I'll be showing you today happen to be two of my favorite farming areas in the game regardless of the mini event, but I wanted to do an updated version while the event is going on. Now, the first location you can see we're in Crackmast Cove, and you want to go to the waypoint, the Salty Saunter. So you can see in the footage, once you load into the Salty Saunter waypoint, you're going to go straight ahead. Now, the main reason I'm showing you the exact path to take is because en route to the actual farming location that I want to highlight, you also have some other options in regards to farming badass enemies, and it's completely up to you whether you engage with them or not. So the first optional location you can stop at is right when you get across this first bridge. You're going to find, I don't know, maybe 4 or 5 badass enemies. Again, it's up to you if you want to engage with them or not. Once you take them out, if you go up that little hill, which we will now cruise up really quick, you're going to again run into some more badass pirate enemies as well. Now for me, I like to go to the main location, which I'll show you in a second, because that's where the skeleton badasses are, and they are much easier to clear. And once again, remember, for this mini event, the main goal is to take out as many badass enemies as you can, and for me, I like to be efficient as possible, so I want to go to the spot in which, there are just a bunch in one location. However, if you do hit up these spots, you can still get some good loot as well. Now, for those of you that choose to go right to the main farming location I'm going to highlight today, all you're going to do is continue running up the hill. You can see the enemies are there. You may take 1 or 2 hits as you're cruising along, but you're going to go up this first hill, veer to the right, continue on, and when you jump down, you're going to see some enemies as well. Now, what I do is I completely avoid them because they're not going to follow you as you continue. Now, once you land on the beach here, you're going to kind of cruise between the ship and that palm tree. You're going to see this save location, and once you hit this up, this in my opinion is where the real farming area starts. You're going to make a right, go through the ship, and this is where you will encounter at least 12 to 15 badass enemies. Now, as we continue, there happen to be a few tips I want to pass along to new and returning players. First of all, anytime you go to one of these encounters, make sure you have at least 20 or 30 spaces in your inventory minimum, because you're getting a bunch of loot in a short amount of time. And if you choose to reset this and farm the spot over and over again, keep in mind when you come back, the loot is going to be gone, so you always want to make sure you have enough space so you don't miss out on anything you may need. Once you've cleared the location, my friends, you then have the option of refarming the spot over and over again, which I strongly recommend because you're going to get a bunch of stuff in a very short amount of time. And in regards to actually resetting everything, most of you know by now you do have multiple options. You could reset your chaos mode, or not reset it, you can change your chaos level, you can go back to Brighthoof, you can save and exit, or you can down your character, but remember that costs gold. Now, what I typically do is do an ammo check. I will travel back to Brighthoof so I can sell anything I don't need, clear up those spaces. Again, pick up all the cosmetics, whether you have them or not, because they're going to give you extra gold. And as you can see by the footage, once you load back in, you are loading in right by the ship. And my friends, again, this is highly efficient. I recommend farming this thing nonstop. The next spot I'm showing you today, in my opinion, and a lot of you have reached out to the channel saying the same thing, is the best badass farming area in the game. We are going to Tangle Drift, we're going to the waypoint, the Murder Church, and once you get there, it's just a straight shot to the first location, which we'll highlight in regards to a spot that you can farm. Now, like before, you'll see on the way to the main location, there is a small area you can farm as well. I usually do hit that up because it's badass skeletons, they're easier to clear, and there are a pretty decent amount, and you can get some good loot there. So again, once you load in, you have vending machines, get loot, what am I saying? Get ammo, sell loot you don't need, stuff like that. You're going to slide down the beanstalk, and then you'll find yourself at the first spot you can farm. All you do is go through this archway, you'll see the enemies right in front of you. Now, if you choose to just not do this at all, if you want to run straight through through. Like I said, you have that option as well. So if we open up our map, I'm going to put a waypoint to the location you want to go. Now what I usually do is I just make a beeline for this spot. Reason for it is this is the main farming location. There's a save area right by it, and that's where you're going to respawn every time you farm this spot. And once again, a tip to new and returning players, when you're getting to this location, don't stop. You're going to see a bunch of flying enemies. You're going to see other enemies as well. The main point is to get there as quickly as possible. Now, as I mentioned before, there's going to be a save spot when you get to this location on the map that I've marked. And what I always do is I fast travel back to Brighthoof. I fill up on ammunition. I sell stuff I don't need. I mean, you can see a pattern here. And that way, when I farm this spot over and over, I don't have to worry about inventory space, running out of ammunition, anything like that, because that just honestly, it's just a waste of time to have to deal with that stuff. So again, I get to this location, I open up my map, I fast travel back to Brighthoof, go to the vending machines, do what I need to do, fast travel back, and that's when the farming starts. And once again, like the previous main farming location, once you load back into the game, you're loaded at the exact spot where you want to be. All you do is go up the steps, you go into this room, and it is just, it's insane, my friends. Like, there are so many enemies right there. It's going to take a minute if you haven't played this to get used to it. Your character may get downed a few times. Now, if that does happen, you're still going to respawn in that exact same location, so do not worry about it. And as you can see, there are so many enemies here. It is just fish in a barrel. You're going to light up so many enemies and get a ton of loot. There also happens to be a mini boss in here as well, so that does help out in regards to the quality of loot you get. And as I start to wrap this video up, for me, it's all about efficiency. So once you get to this location, again, farm it as many times in a row as you like, and I sincerely hope this video helps out. With all that being said, I'm going to start to wrap this thing up. However, as always, I want to take a moment and thank you all for the incredible support you show me in the channel, and remind you, if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, or want to share farming areas you enjoy, please let me know in the section down below. At this point, I'm going to let the rest of the video play out. However, like I mentioned at the beginning of this thing, if you happen to be new here, feel free to hit that subscribe or join button. If you enjoyed this, do me a favor, hit that like button as well. But most importantly, take care of yourselves, be kind to each other, and we will talk to you soon. Thanks again, everyone.